Hi guys, I'm back with the next step in your character design, and it is to fill in with solid blocks of color. Okay, I want to clarify something. Well, I want to emphasize, I guess the right word is, something that I always say, but here it's very, very important that you're working in nice separated layers between your colors. You want to make sure each object is separated by a layer. Okay, so I'm starting off kind of where you saw me in the last video, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this palette because I don't need it anymore, and you can just turn the layer off, that's fine. One thing I did want to do to help you guys visualize the look that I'm going for here is that I did want to add in one of my inspiration images. So I'm going to insert a photo. I saved it to my iPad, one of my inspiration images. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to move her over to the side. So if you can remember, this is one of the images from my style board. Again, it's inserted on its own layer, so I don't have to worry about it staying once I'm done. Okay, but I wanted you to be able to see sort of the texture that I'm going for. And thinking about this is going to be really important when it comes to figuring out what type of brush to use to fill in your solid color. So you are going to be thinking about opacity when you fill in your solid color. This layer is basically the base layer for all the shading and things you're going to add in on top. You'll notice that we're using our blue line layer to start us off, and we're not doing an outline just yet because you have options when it comes to an outline, and I want to go over that a little bit later. So our blue line outline is not our final outline, but it is going to serve as our almost coloring book page for this next step. So basically I'm going to leave that on, and I might even move it around up or down so that it's on top of my color layers or below, just so that we can make sure that we continue to see it really nice and clear. So because I'm looking for this really like washy textured color, I looked through the brushes and I just came to the decision that I'm going to use, I think it's in here, I'm going to use the dry ink brush, okay, because I want texture to mine. But you can test out whatever you're going to use. So I think I'll do the skin tone first. You can test out your brush over on the side to see if it's what the texture that you're going for, and then you can just erase it. Okay, so I'm gonna do the skin tone first, his face and his neck, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to come down here in my blue line layer. I'm gonna make another layer, and I'm gonna pull that layer underneath my blue line layer so that I can continue to see that blue line no matter what I fill in. Okay, and again, each color that I do, I'm going to do on its own layer. All right, so I'm gonna just demonstrate for you. I'm gonna need to make my brush a little bit bigger. You don't have to worry about being perfect. You wanna be as neat as you can, but if it's not perfect, it's okay. So that's the texture that I'm wanting, and you can see like there is definitely like some splotches where it doesn't get filled in. You can go back over it. And I'm just filling in solid blocks of color as neatly as I can. Okay, so again, I'm using the dry ink brush, but you may not want this same texture that I'm going for, so you may use a different brush. Also, I'm filling in just solid colors, so it doesn't have to be the exact color because you're going to come back in and you're going to add in shading lights and darks. Oops, see, I made a mistake. I didn't make a new layer. So you want to make sure you catch yourself if you go to do that. I know it's like human nature to just kind of keep moving on to the next step, to the next step. But so I did his skin, his face, and his neck. So I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to make myself another layer, and you can name your layers if you want to. Okay, I can name this skin. And then this layer will be shirt. You're going to have tons of layers when this is all done, so you want to make sure you're nice and organized. So then I can come in now, I have my green tone, and I can come in and block that in. And again, you can see that my brush that I've chosen has some texture to it. I want you to kind of like swatch it out and pick what is going to work best for you and the like vibe that you're going for. Okay, can come back with an eraser. Ooh. What's happening here? I don't know what I did. If you press and hold the eraser, it erases with the current brush, but I did something weird. Okay, so you'll fill in each area with the color that you are intending on using. I've kind of chosen the mid-tone color because I am going to add highlights and I am going to add shadows. So you can see for the skin tone, it's probably a little bit too saturated, a little too dark, but I am going to add in highlights and shadows. And the same thing with the shirt color. I chose the mid-tone green because I am going to add in shadows and I am going to add in highlights, okay? So again, each section of solid color on its own layer, all right, so that you have the ability to erase, to get rid of, without getting rid of too much, all right? So that this is the next step. When you're finished doing this, you'll upload just this step to Google Classroom. You can choose to do this. This was more for my demonstration purposes. I wanted you to see like kind of the texture that I was looking for. But if it helps you to have your reference image here, you can absolutely put it here. Another thing that might be helpful to you is to take the photo that you worked from and put that on the page as well. All right, guys, good luck.